to be able to schedule it.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we are thrilled to be together. And as always, I like to welcome in Shabbat with sort of a deep breath. To me, I find it cleansing to breathe in the newness and the warmth that is Shabbat. And I enjoy spending it with you. So I want to just wish you Shabbat Shalom and thank you for helping to breathe new air into my Shabbat experience. And we'll begin our service if we're ready. Ethan, how are we doing? Are we ready? Okay, well then we will begin with Hine Matov.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
How wonderful it is for us to be together on this day. We will continue singing Hava Nashira as we all are singing a song of praise to God.
Hava, Hava Nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah. 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 Hava.
Chesed ibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed ibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed ibaneh. Olam chesed ivaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Let's hum the melody. One more time. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yevo, one more time. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
I believe we are going to continue with our opening meditation. Please join with me. We live in a very busy world, but we put aside one day every week for rest. That day is Shabbat. Shabbat is the time that we come together to be with ourselves, our families, our friends, and with God. Let my prayer be to learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. God, we thank you for our special holy day. We thank you for helping us make our lives holy through this celebration of Shabbat.
We now ask those of you who are able to please rise. Am I awake? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yai-da-dai, 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 Orechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובחומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
And the women dancing with the timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our story. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with the timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with the timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with the timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Adonai tzvatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Kol Melech Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot V'Imot, U'Mevi Geula Libnei Bnei Ham, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hoseh U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'Zerat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, ישני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, בחיי הכל, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may be seated. We now take a moment for silent prayer and meditation. Say shalom bimramav, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Good evening, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. For this Share Shabbat, I'd like to share with you a story that I first heard from Rabbi Sari Lofer, who happens to be a friend, a colleague, and also a fellow alum from Northwestern. So I really like sharing a story that she has given because I feel like she's one of those people who this relates to in that she's a good friend. Anyway, this is a story she calls A Blank Letter. And she says, it begins with Josh and Sarah, and they were the kind of friends who did everything together. They studied together, they shared inside jokes, they celebrated holidays and milestones. All of this they did together. One day, though, Sarah told Josh that she was moving away. And before cars and cell phones, email, Instagram, TikTok, she might as well have been moving to the other side of the world, even though it was really just a few towns away. But wanting to stay connected, they promised that they would write each other letters every week. And they found a messenger who was willing to carry it from one town to the other. So every week, Josh would sit down and he would write a message to Sarah. And the messenger would diligently carry it through the woods from town to town until he delivered it to Sarah. Then he would wait for Sarah's response and take that letter back to Josh. And this went on week after week and year after year. They never missed a week. One afternoon, many years in, the messenger was carrying Josh's letter when curiosity overtook him. He couldn't help himself. And when he was deep in the woods, he sat down and he opened up Josh's letter. And pulling it slowly out of the envelope, he couldn't wait to see what it is that he had been carrying week after week and year after year. But much to his surprise, as he opened up the letter, it was blank. There were no words on the page. He, of course, was mad. He was pretty angry. It says, have I been carrying a blank piece of paper back and forth for all of these years? There was nothing he could do. So he folded the letter back up and he put it in the envelope and he brought it to Sarah. Later, walking back with Sarah's response, he again could not resist. He sat down in the woods and he opened up her letter, hoping that he would see something different. But this too was blank. Finally, when he arrived at Josh's house to deliver Sarah's letter, he knew that he had to tell the truth. He said, I know it was wrong. I'm really sorry, but I've been doing this for so long and my curiosity had got the best of me, but now I feel like you've been wasting my time. So I hope you'll forgive me, but I have to know, have you been sending blank letters all this time? Josh was quiet for a moment and he said, I accept your apology. I understand your curiosity. And even though it was wrong, I forgive you. And I want you to know you have not been wasting your time. What you've been doing all these years is so very important to us. So important, the messenger said. I've been carrying blank pieces of paper back and forth. How could it be that important? But Josh corrected him and said, no, most weeks I send regular letters. I write about things that happened during the week. I tell a funny story that I know Sarah would like. Sometimes I write about worries or things that I think I could use her advice on, and usually she does the same. Most weeks, you carried letters with words and thoughts and ideas. But some weeks, I had nothing to say other than I'm here and we are still connected. And sometimes Sarah knew that's all I needed to hear. So sometimes you carried a blank letter, but sometimes those blank letters contained the holiest and most profound words of all. And with that, I simply want to conclude by reminding us that sometimes it is simply the effort of letting another person know, especially during a time like the pandemic, that they are being thought of, whether it be simply a message left on an answering machine by so many of our wonderful callers. Even if you don't get to answer that response, we know that we're thinking about one another. And so on this Shabbat, even if they're blank letters, I just want you to know that we are thinking of you and you are taking care of one another. And your thoughts are indeed the holiest thing that there is right now in building our relationships. So Shabbat Shalom, and thank you. In an answer to Rabbi Sabo's question to me, yes, that's why you got a blank email from me in the middle of last night. Not because I forgot to put an attachment on. It was because I was simply trying to emphasize the story that I was about to be giving today.
It makes a lot more sense now.
I'm sure that it does. Rabbi Sabo, are you going to be leading Nisha Barak or shall I?
I can. Let me make my list of names a little bit bigger so I can actually read them. As we think of building connection and reminding people are there, we think of those who are in need of healing and definitely in need of feeling like people are there, even if we can't visit them in person. This Shabbat, we pray especially for Rhonda Hathaway, Gershon Reuven Ben Esther, Barb Gronfeld, Linda Dean Harris, Jenny Curtis, Rivka Bat Avraham Visara, Marilyn Cummings, Dee Shaw, Sherry Alpert, William Rossi, Estelle Narija, Rosalind Moss, Tom Brown, Jeanette Patton, Charla Davison Davis, Tyler Zeisloft, Pat Bloom, Ronald Epstein, James Huckman, Judith Perlman, Lorna Kundert, Melinda Glovka, Helen Fine, Ed Bulin, Christine Wagner, Tracy Huddleston, Joe McKenna, Ellen Goodrich, Mark Romanofsky, Jerry McDonald, Richard Lieberman, Joel Pinsker, Marty Sacker, Laura Holtzinger-Levin, Avraham Ben Avraham Visara, Bob and Gert Kahn, Dave Bussey, Ron Levine, Jay Bainbridge, Chelsea Smith, Shava Etta, Rory Freisler, and Deborah Seidel, and all those who you hold in your hearts as we sing the words on the screen in front of us.
Yishberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Yishberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishberach Avotenu, Mishberach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Ask those who are able to please rise and join me with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those whom death has taken from us recently and those who have died at this season in years past. As a congregation, we mark the yahrzeits of Bertha S. Cohen, Jerome L. Dushman, Isaac Eisenberger, Carol Lynn Field, Arthur D. Friedman, Betty Goldberger, Harry A. Green Sr., Sidney Greenblatt, Regina Gronenfeld, Geraldine Hoover, Albert Ingberg, Benjamin Israel, Irene R. Jacoby, Bruce Sola Catchman, Samuel J. Klein, Natalie Lenkin, Harry Lehman, Ethel Lippert, Albert Litwitz, Harriet Hirsch Margolis, Jenny Lieberman Michelin, Carolyn Miller, Jane Miller, Milton Myers, Margaret Overman, Tony B. Patterson, Mary Pollock, Barbara Posner, Gloria Rosen, David Rosenthal, Elmer S. Samuels, Anna Semmelman, Rose H. Shaman, Leon S. Siff, Lillian Simon, Davidine Swanger, Babette C. Seisler, Sarah Venick, and Jeanette Zuring. There are others that you are thinking of. It is as if their names have been read aloud, and I invite those in mourning or remembering to rise first if you are able. As those who are able, join them in rising physically or spiritually for the words of Mourners Kaddish on the screen in front of us. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe Shemei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam Olamei Almaya. Yit Barach V'yish Tabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Romam V'yit Naseh V'yit Hadar V'yit Ale V'yit Halal Shemei Dekudesha Barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya b'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imrumav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always and only be for a blessing. We thank you, O God, for our family and for what we mean and bring to one another. We are grateful for the bonds of loyalty and affection which sustain us and for the capacity to love and to care. Bless our family, our congregation, our country, and our people with health, happiness, and contentment. Above all, grant us the wisdom to build a joyous and peaceful home in which your spirit will always abide. And let us say, Amen.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more, there'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it faze you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like why oh, why oh, why oh, why oh. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day.
I invite those of you who have candles to light them with me, and then we can lead or sing the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. And those who have a bit of wine or grape juice, please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon yinchelanu zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'chata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat l'chaim. L'chaim.
And this is when my children usually find their way in because it's their favorite part. Scott, again, even with his knee, was able to make wonderful challah. I, on the other hand, am about to drop it. So we'll join together. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.